back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lilian. If it's your first time stopping by, you're definitely welcome. So today I want to talk about this show called The Ultimatum. I'm going to be analyzing like the very first 5 episodes. Personally, I think the show was interesting. My initial thought was welcome to the Wild West, you know, because I just felt like this is a recipe for disaster. Like I felt like the show was going to be messy, but I must say, like, I'm actually impressed with like how each cast carried themselves. I feel like they were all mature. They handled the situation well, at least for the first 5 episodes, because that's what I've watched so far. Yeah, with that being said, will I go on this type of show? The idea of meeting people and seeing someone who's trying to find someone who's like your best match and maybe learning from the experience seemed okay, but the idea of like doing like the trial marriage and living with someone for like 3 weeks, I'm just like nah, I'm not doing that. That's just how I feel personally. So with that being said, I'm going to be analyzing the initial trial marriage, you know, the couples that picked each other. That's what I'm going to be analyzing. But with that being said, we know if you haven't watched it, obviously there's going to be a lot of spoilers, so please go and watch it. If you don't like spoilers, you can pause it here and go and watch the series or the season basically. Obviously, you know, there were 2 proposals, and I'm going to talk about that, and I'm going to talk about the other 4 couples. With that being said, let's get right into the video. So the very first person or first couple I'm going to talk about is Alexis and Hunter. So obviously Alexis was the one who brought Hunter into the ultimatum. She gave him the ultimatum saying it's either we get married or what are we doing, you know. So I think Hunter definitely need that brush with death experience, because after that he was able to decide, oh, you know what, this is the girl I want, this is the girl I want to end up spending the rest of my life with. And I really like the fact that Alexis, you know, she's very confident, she's an attractive young lady, so you know, she knew that about herself. And it's funny how she expected guys to fall on her feet, but that didn't happen. So it was just interesting to see, and I feel like what eventually led to their proposal was she expressing her feelings for Hunter, and then Hunter is like, man, like this is actually what I want someone who cares about me, I want someone who loves me, that all along I've just been scared. So I feel like he was able to see what he's missing like right in front of his eyes. So I just thought that was interesting. Well, that's my personal opinion or like personal thoughts. Yeah, I'm glad she didn't really get the opportunity to completely tarnish like Colby's character and his opportunity to even connect with other people, because she obviously did not really get to understand him and understand like his attitude and reaction towards Alexis. Like obviously Alexis is not his spec, you know. So yeah, anyways, with that being said, like I'm just gonna move on to the next couple, which is Lauren and Nate. Now oh my gosh, Nate, I just feel like Nate is just a very interesting character. First of all, he goes around telling like what's her name, Shanique and April, all, you know, things they wanted to hear basically, because that's how I felt. Like I feel like he was just telling them things they wanted to hear. Like it wasn't really sincere. I don't want to say it wasn't sincere, but it didn't come from the heart. It was just saying whatever they wanted to hear. And the proposal, I just feel like that came as a shock. That was not I wasn't expecting that. In fact, I didn't see that coming. For me personally, I think the fact that he probably couldn't, the ladies that he chose did not choose him. So I think that was why he was like, you know what, I have a girlfriend, like why am I in this process? Why do I have to even try and, you know, meet new people or whatever when I have someone? So I think that was probably why he decided to propose. Now personally, the reason why I think Lauren accepted this proposal was after conversations with like Colby. She was probably able to process the fact that, okay, this is why I'm not really comfortable having a child now. You know, with her conversation with Colby, she talked about the fact that Nate is still he has a business, so he may not be around like most of the time. She talked about like her body like changing drastically, and I feel like those are actually legitimate concerns. But I think she's eventually gonna change her mind and she'll probably have kids, and that was why she proceeded into accepting that proposal, which I just thought was really interesting. Anyways, moving on to the entanglements. Basically, I'm gonna start with Colby and April. Now, I think these two, they actually work well together. If they met each other outside the ultimatum, I feel like they would probably date and may even end up getting married to each other. That's how I feel personally. I really like the fact that they started off as like friends. They were able to start off as friends, like play different games, activities. I really think that's important when it comes to getting to know someone else. Just building that friendship, emotional connection, psychological connection before even doing anything physical. I really think that's important. So yeah, I think they were able to work well together, and we didn't even get to see much of April's like breakdown and continuous talking and things like that. But it's nice to see that Colby was able to learn like one or two things from their time together, basically. Now, the next person I'm going to talk about is Jake and Rae plus April. So first of all, I think after watching, I think it was episode 4, and seeing April's like meltdown, I do understand why Jake is, he really feels overwhelmed by the situation or their relationship, or his relationship with April. Like, I do understand and see where he's coming from, because I think she just talks a lot generally, and she's really intense. But in terms of Jake and Rae, I believe these two actually connected. Their initial connection was based on their like race, heritage, and like similar personalities. But so from the get-go, they're that couple that it just felt like they found their match all of a sudden compared to like other people. So I don't really have much to say about them, except they really gel well together. It's like bread and butter mashed together. So I really think they understand each other. They understand their personalities, understand how to navigate and have conversations with each other. So I don't really have much to say about these two, except I really see them ending up together. Honestly, I think they're going to end up together, and I feel like April is probably going to leave. Either she leaves with Colby or she's going to leave single. That's just how I feel, because I really think Jake and Rae will end up together. The only reason they don't end up together is if Jake's mom is not on board. I feel like that's the only reason, but aside that, they will probably end up together. Now, the next person I'm going to talk about is Randell and Madlyn. So first of all, I felt like this connection or this relationship was superficial and very physical. That was how I felt from the start. But to be honest, like, I'm really impressed with like how Randell like carried himself. I feel like I actually misjudged Randell because he was giving me that player vibes initially, but then like watching like the first 5 episodes, I realized that he genuinely wants to be there. He genuinely wants to grow. He genuinely wants to figure out like what's best for him, so. And then honestly, Madlyn, like, I feel like she actually has like deep internal issues. And I remember in the first episode or so, Colby did mention that her parents have gone through divorce. I don't know if she has had time to like process that. Maybe that's one of the reasons why she's scared. I don't know. I haven't really watched the other episodes to see how their dynamics is going to be, like Colby and Madlyn, when they get back together. But I really think that both of them, Colby and Madlyn, will probably end up together. Even though she really tarnished Colby and just really talked bad about him with like her friends and things of that nature, I really see them being together, to be honest. I really think so. I don't know how it's gonna go, but I really think she's, in fact, I actually think she's like madly in love with Colby, but she doesn't know how to say it or express it. This is how I feel personally. I just think she just needs to deal with like whatever she needs to deal with and heal from like whatever she needs to heal from, because to me she just has like deep internal issues going on. It's not necessarily about the relationship now, but yeah, that's just how I see it. Now the very last couple, which is Zay and Shanique, I really think these two people, they probably need to do like more activities together to kind of break their walls, or to help them. I don't even know how to explain it, but they just need to, yeah, they need to do more activities together to loosen up. Because I think at the initial start, maybe they were thinking that their partner, you know, like this process is just for their partners, and eventually their partner needs to figure out what they need to figure out and end up coming back to them. I really think that's how they saw it. But when things were not working out their way, especially when like Rae was connecting with like Jake, and you know, Madlyn was talking about these things that Randell did, and you know, like it wasn't sitting well with Shanique, I really think they didn't really give themselves into the process. And but one thing I must say is I like the fact that Zay was able to open up to Shanique's family. Now Zay obviously has like internal issues, and you know, he talked about his parents not being there, his family not being there, and when he's connecting you find that he's not very emotional. Like he doesn't really know how to process his emotions properly, so it's usually coming off as anger, being aggressive, like because he's just not in tune with his emotions. He doesn't really know how the other person is feeling. He just expresses himself however he feels like he can. So I feel like that's something that he's struggling with. And Shanique is like someone who doesn't tolerate, like, no, she wouldn't tolerate like yelling, she wouldn't tolerate like, you know, those type of attitude. So I think it really puts Zay in like a more calm situation, because obviously no one likes argument and no one wants argument, so he's able to control himself in that aspect. So that's why I'm like, they ground each other. And I think like he's able to express himself more with just from being with Shanique, you know. On the other hand, I really think Shanique, like, she does shut down, and it's interesting to see how she shut down when she went to meet Randell. You know, she just shut down. She couldn't process her emotions. They didn't even, it was just weird. And I feel like that's what eventually led her to doing what she did with Zay. And I feel like, with that being said, there is no way she's gonna end up with like Randell anymore. I just feel like her opportunity with Randell has like crashed. You know, I don't really see them being together anymore. In fact, I actually think she's going to end up with Zay, and I think they work well together. It's just that they need to do more games and like more activities together. So